okay? To make the nostrils, very simply. And again, some of our nostrils are wider, some of them are thinner. You want to think about where yours would go. Mariorki.
Also, if you have a pointy nose, you should use a pinch of glue too.
Beautiful, thank you. That was going to be my next step. So, our heads are 3D. These sculptures are 3D. Mariorki, can I have you just stand here, please? Thank you, so I can see you. So, these are 3D. So you always need to look at it from this angle. Silent thumb, what is this angle? When you look at it from the side, what's that called? If you know it, if you know it. It's not a side view. What's it called?
Left side.
No. It's a profile. Silent thumb if you've heard that word before. A profile. Profile view is just the side view, just like that. So look, Tori. Look from the side. Now notice my nose is very flat, and if you look at my actual nose, my nose comes out quite a bit. So I'm going to do the pinch and pull method Mariorki had mentioned. Hands down, Tori. And I'm not pinching with all my might, right? Everything's, what's that word, that lovely G word? I love it so much.
Gentle.
Well, gentle, another really great G word.
Gradual.
Gradual. What does that mean, Tori?
Gradual means that you're doing it soft, smooth, and collected.
So controlled,
Control.
right? So it's gradual, things happen slowly. So I'm not trying to pinch the nose shape right away. It's gentle, right? I'm trying to shape it out to make it come off that profile a little bit. So let me see. Can you get the door for me, please? Okay. So always be looking at the profile view as well, right? Now I have my eye sockets. I have my nose. Oh.
Nikolai, is that okay?
Nikolai. Okay, Nikolai, go ahead, sir. So ladies, let's fill in this space here. Tori, come this way. All right, great. So what am I missing, Fatimata? Bye, Nikolai.
Your mouth.
My mouth. So to make a mouth, I'm going to use this tool, which is called what? Don't pull out. Lauren. A modeling tool. So this tool for Iha is really lovely for creating those sort of impressions and things. But watch, I can also make the mouth quite nicely this way. Okay? Now, yes. So we'll talk about that, right? Right now we're just focusing, but good observation, the cheeks are very flat. And if you look at the profile, our cheeks have space. They have dimension, they have volume, right? So we're just focusing today, because we're not going to have a lot of time, Tori, get serious now, to get that far along, right? So for the mouth, that's one of the pieces, if you go back to the facial expression chart, that really will change the story behind your piece. So let me think of my story. Let's see. This morning, I was really nervous, so I'm going to make my nervous face again. I was nervous because I knew my bus wasn't going to get me to work or school on time. I knew it wasn't going to get me to work. So what I ended up doing was taking a cab again. My goodness. But when you're doing your sculpture, I really want you to think of the story behind what you're sculpting, right? So nervous. Let's see. I'm going to make a face. I feel nervous. So I can feel that my something like this. Just a moment. Right? Something kind of like right? Think of the angle behind the nervous face. And now I'm feeling kind of my eyebrows. My eyebrows, like, one kind of comes down, right? Something like that. Nervous. So maybe one eyebrow up, one down. Looks kind of confused, right? Loose, do not pull out. But I can always come back and fix it, okay? I want to show you one more thing before we get started, so we'll have enough time to work. Now, to do the eyes. Hold on just a moment. I'm going to create a sphere, and I always want to check, right? Is it too big? Is it too small? No. Can I just stick it there?
No.
Stop. Don't pull out. Don't pull out. Kayla's giving me a silent thumb down. What do I have to do?
You have to score and slip.
Score and slip. Someone walk me through the steps. What's the first step, Fatimata?
First step, you're supposed to open the lid and you need to take your finger.
Oh, not yet. Oh, wait, I see some scholars disagreeing. Abby, first step.
First, you have to use the.
Don't steal her learning. It looks the way it is named.
A pin, the pinhole.
Pin. What is it? Is it a book? Is it a... Fatimata? Help her out, help her out.
A pencil.
What's this called?
A pencil.
A pin tool, right? So I take the pin tool and I do what?
Then you make lines or X's on both the eyes and on the clay.
Right, so what are those lines called? What's that step called, Miriam? Don't steal her learning. Help me out.
Score and slip.
No, but what are those lines called? What are those lines called?
Contextualizing.
Well, you're thinking of texture, which I love that you're using that reference, but what's it called?
I was going to say texture.
Not texture.
Scoring.
Scoring. There you go. It's in the... Give her some space. And some space. So I need to score, right, Abby? I need to do what? What's this called, Abby?
You have to score.
Score. So not too deep, right? But I want to make texture, not contextualizing. I like your thinking, but texture. It's right there. Texture. One of my elements of art. So both sides, absolutely, right? So I score in the eye socket as well. Don't worry, it doesn't hurt them. Keep my tools clean, right? What's the next step? I have score marks on both sides. Tori, now what?
Then after that, you take the
Don't steal her learning.
you take the slip,
Slip, beautiful.
but you don't rub. You gently tip.
What am I doing?
Tapping.
Tapping. So why do I need to tap? Why do I need to tap, Lauren?
You need to tap. You need to tap because if you put it all over that eye.
Well, if I rub it, right? She was saying you have to tap it into those marks. Why? No, stop. Give her a second to think. If I rub this, what's going to happen?
Your fingers will get messed up.
So but I'm thinking about the clay, right? The whole point of scoring and slipping is so you have these two textured pieces, right? So if I rub it, am I still going to have two textured pieces? No. What am I going to have?
You're gonna have one piece that's wet and one piece that's dry.
Not wet and dry. Stop, stop, stop. Put your hands down. I want to make sure she understands this. You need the texture to attach the two pieces, right? Fariha? You need the two pieces to have texture, so when they attach, remember, they dry nice and solid. So if you rub that slip in, what happened?
There will be too much pressure on the clay, and it will start. And that pressure is while trying to hold your piece together. It will.
So I think you're on the right track, but not quite phrasing it right. Fariha. Not quite. No. Listen to the question. If I rub the slip on my score marks, what's going to happen?
Your piece is gonna break off because if you're rubbing it, then that means it's like you did no texture. So your piece is gonna break off.
Right, you're going to lose your texture. So Lauren, why don't I rub?
You don't rub because you're gonna lose your texture.
Beautiful. We want those score marks, right? You have to tap it into those little score marks. So then I take my eyeball and I'm pressing it in, but I'm also gently wiggling it. Lewis, check your posture. Wiggling it so those texture marks, those score marks, are nice and solid and attached. Okay? So wiggling my eyeball, pressing it in. We're going to stop there for today. So your goals are eye sockets, noses, mouth expression, and if you get a chance to get to eyeballs, start to make your eyeballs. Okay? Question, Lewis.
What about hair?
Do not worry about hair. Hair is like not even tomorrow, okay? We're focusing on expression. Think about the story that your piece is telling. Miriam, last question.
I was confused with
Can you talk to me, please?
Because the eye socket was that you moved it up a little bit, and you're supposed to move the eyeballs up.
But But the eyebrow, don't worry about it, we'll do the eyebrows tomorrow, okay? So right now, I know, come join us, sir. Eyes glued right here. So right now we're only worried about eye sockets, noses, mouth expression, and getting the eyeballs in there, okay? Last question.
Where do you put your name at?
Rephrase that sentence, or that question rather.
Where do you put your...
It's not where do you put your name at. Rephrase it. Where do you put your name, right? Where do you put your name? Put your name, your initials, on the back of the head, and make sure you are putting your symbol, your class symbol, okay? If you forgot your symbol, they're on the wall. Now, Fatimata, really last question. I want to have enough time to work. Yes. You stop. You might have the same question or concern. Victor, track right here. Yes.
Not a question, but I have a way you could make the I think instead of doing this and make your head look like an alien, you can put your thumbs like this so it can actually look like the shape of your eye.
Sure. But stop. I'm going to show you tomorrow how to add eyelids and eyebrows, okay? So do this way. If you have a different way that you can figure out, that's fine. But I would highly recommend doing this route because I'll show you how to apply eyebrows and eyelids tomorrow, okay? So I'm looking to hire some helpers. Those are scholars that are quickly, quietly, safely. When I say go, not a moment sooner, getting to their tables, smocks are on, hands are locked, and eyes are glued to me. Go. Let's see, Tori's already there. Put it on my desk. Okay, let's see. Oh, thank you, Farida. So smocks are going on. Tori looks like she wants to be hired. She has such urgency. I love this. Ooh, Fatimata, you're going to be my table point monitor. Tori looks ready. I'm going to give you 30 seconds to look as ready as Tori and as ready as Victor, whose hands are locked and their eyes are glued right to me. I love the technique of holding it up to cover as much of your uniform as possible. Now we have a lovely, I'm going to start with 8 minutes. I know it's not enough time to work. Have a seat. I know it's not enough time to work. Louis, your eyes glued to me, sir. But it's a good place to start, Fatimata. And this is a project that we're going to be working on for probably the next 2 weeks, okay? So don't feel like you need to rush through. But it's really important that you think, Abby, about that story you're trying to tell, right? It's very clear that these are different stories. Louis. So I want your self-portrait to reflect that story that you are trying to tell through expression. I have these lovely photo worksheets that have the steps on here. We got up to step 12, okay? So I would say don't go much further than that. Louis, can you hand one out to everybody? Number 1, raise your hand nice and high, number 1. If you don't have a number 1, go to number 2. Raise it up, Marco. Number 1s are going to hand out the clay. Now, independent working time, ladies and gentlemen, should be really low voices, only about the task at hand, right, hierarchy? Can you pass this to me? Thank yous, pleases, and thank yous. Otherwise, I really want you to be focused. Number 1s, hand out the materials. You can go ahead and get started. I'll give us a bonus minute right off the bat. Fariha, for your contribution during conversation, you're going to be my timer. Look at these beautiful tools that we have. Use these beautiful tools called hands and press it. You're not smacking it, it's a pressure. I shouldn't hear all this clapping. Press.